Okay, welcome to DSA platform. My name is Babo Shir, and we are about to start the 7 p.m. live broadcast. As you can see, DSA is not around, so I'm sitting in for him, but he's going to join us later on. So it's going to be interesting as always, so don't go anywhere. We're about to start, and welcome. And as you're coming in, you can go ahead and invite your friends, tag your friends, because it's going to be another awesome time, as it always is with us. So before we start, I would like to invite our friends here to see who has joined us, to welcome our friends. Let's see who we have here. As you're coming in, please go share, so everybody can join us in this wonderful time that we're about to have. Okay, here with me, I have Innocent Magaji, welcome. I have here Lindy, welcome. I have Sally Ade, welcome. I have Comfort Ekudayo, welcome. I have Bunmi Gebro, sorry if I don't pronounce it right, welcome. I have Melody Obosa, welcome. I have Vivian Onawu, welcome. I have John Zugbi, welcome. I have Bamidele Izola, welcome. I have Julie. I have Favor Uma, welcome friends. As you're coming in, please go share, so everybody can join us. Welcome. Once again, my name is Babo Shir, and today the guest we have is Wole Banjoko. Wole Banjoko is in the house here with us, and we are going to have Kingdom Fruits with him. And usually, Kingdom Fruit is where we have our viewers, our family members share their story live with us, their kingdom fruits, what has been going on in their life, how DSA have influenced them, and what is going on in their lives, their family, and so on. So once again, it's going to be awesome. And yeah, go share. So Mr. Wole, Mr. Banjoko Wole, he said I can choose anyone. So I think I'm more Ribiata Zuvok.
Feel free.
Yes. Welcome, sir.
Feel free. Whichever way is comfortable for you, it's comfortable for me. I have no problem at all.
Okay, yeah. So maybe for now, I'll go with Mr. Wole. Welcome.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Mr. Wole, please, can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Wole Banjoko. I am a family member of the special Mr. Sunday Adelaja. I am a little bit of his senior brother in some respect. We're from the same family, yeah, that kind of gives you a little bit of idea of who I am. I'm basically a family member of DSA, and a great supporter of him, of what he's doing, how he's changing nations, how he's impacting lives, and I am also somebody who his teachings and his messages have impacted greatly. So I was looking forward to this opportunity to spread how much impactation he has had on my life, yes. And basically just to share with the world this great man of God, which I know is not a word that he likes, but this great human being of creation that God has all given us a chance to all get to know and get to love. So I was looking forward to the chance to be able to talk to the world about who this man is, and what he has done in my life, and what I believe he's doing in a lot of lives around the world.
Yes, right. Okay, thank you with that information. And going further, can you tell us what's your relationship personally with Dr. Sunday?
Okay, well, it's a little bit complicated. I think I would be the generation before Dr. Sunday. He would, so we call each other brothers. He's probably more the next generation after me, because I am one of the younger members of my generation. So I could almost be considered an uncle in the brackets, but I think a brother is more suitable at this point in time. So Dr. Sunday, I mean, the relationship that we have is a brother relationship, so I don't think anything beyond that is needed. But DSA is the next generation after me. So I think that's the best way I can describe our relationship. But he's my brother, and he's a brother who I love and truly care about.
Okay, great. I know you have visited him here in Kyiv, Ukraine, a few times.
Yes, I have been. I've been to Ukraine, I think 4 times so far. But I guess you guys should expect to see me very soon as well. So I would say 5. I would say five times in a very short period of time. So I've been to Ukraine. The first time I came to Ukraine was probably about 10 years ago.
Okay.
I think it was 2009 maybe. So maybe about 8 years ago. But since then, I've been a number of times. I was there. The last time I was there was about 3 months ago. I was also there last year when we celebrated his 50th birthday. With my wife and my daughter. I've been there. I have 3 children. We've been there with all the children maybe twice before. DSA and my children are around the same age group. He has 3. I have 3. So it's been a great. It was great, basically the fact that the kids are also a similar age. So it was a nice experience. It has been a nice experience for them.
Awesome.
And also the team in Ukraine have been very, very supportive, you guys have looked after us very well every time we come. So we're always looking forward to coming over.
Oh yes, we're always glad to have you. So please come more. I'm looking forward to having you soon.
Very good. Great.
Okay. So, can you tell us, when you were in Kyiv here, Ukraine, visiting him, what one of the most awesome moments that you had with him? What did you take back home? What did you see here that really touched you, or that you said to yourself, wow, I'm going to take this back home and I'm going to make use of it to help others or to impact on others? What is that thing that you saw here when you were in Kyiv?
I think one of the greatest and most special things about DSA is his humility. Because when I think it's very a lot of people can be very confused about a man that has achieved such tremendous things around the world, and you now come back and maybe he's you find him aloof or that he stays away and all that kind of stuff. It's his humility. One of the special things that I have picked up just from with him is just the way he treats everybody. He gives everybody attention. It doesn't matter who you are. He gives you all the attention that is needed. He listens. He's a great listener, but besides being a great listener, he's also a great talker. A great talker in terms of he will clarify whatever difficulties, whatever areas that you have, any question that you have. He has the ability to make you feel comfortable and be able to explain it with clarity. And if you need him to explain it in terms of a regular understanding of life, he will do it. If you need him to explain it to you in terms of using biblical principles, he will do it. So his knowledge, he has very vast knowledge in a huge area about life situation and life areas. So one of the special things that I find, that I've learned from DSA is like any issue that you're having in your life, in whatever area of your life it is, whether it's being your marriage, whether it be with your children, whether it will be with anything, he has reviewed those areas and he has created solution, and you can find he has created a platform for you to be able to look and be able to use that knowledge that he has to be able to help you get through whatever the situation may be. I think those are the kind of areas that I would say that I found very empowering by coming to Ukraine, by actually spending time with him, because it teaches you, watching him teaches you how you need to act with other people. If you can watch him long enough, study him long enough, behave like him long enough, you can understand that how to love people, how to care for people, because that is everything that he radiates as a human being. So you don't get too many people, or you don't get too many chances to meet people like that will give you that ability to be able to learn from him. He's not even able to teach you, but if you study him as a person, you will learn in doing just from observing him. So I think that is probably one thing that I've carried away from having time or spending time with him in Ukraine.
Right. Right. I really like the first point you said, that the first thing that you saw from him or you learned from him is humility. That we've heard over and over again. You cannot miss that. The humility is all over him. The first thing you meet him is like a,
I don't know, like a language.
Yeah.
Doesn't speak out by itself. So
Yeah, because I'll tell you one thing. One thing about me is I'll give you a little history of I think of me as a person. Okay, I think Leslie has mentioned a number of times about the story of the family, some of the tragedies that we've had in the family, and how it has affected him. And so I'll give you a little history on from my side of some of those tragedies. I think the one that I can first recall would be the passing away of my mother. My mother died in 1970.
okay.
1970 sounds like a long time. It is a long time ago, but I was 5 years old at the time. I remember that passing on. The second experience that I think I can probably recall would be, I think actually my grandmother died first. Sorry.
Okay.
My grandmother died first, and then I think my mother died months after my grandmother died. So that would be two tragedies. Okay, this would be before 1970.
Okay.
I remember. And then after that, the next tragedy I'll remember is one of those ones that DSA has spoken about, which is the eldest brother, Uncle Kola, who came from England.
Okay.
Is married with a white lady, came back to Nigeria. They actually stayed with us next door to the house, because where I grew up, my father had two houses in one compound. I think initially when they came from England, they stayed at the other house next door, with the two children that they brought, with Roke and Tinuke. So soon after that, I think the next tragedy that I remember was Uncle Kola's death.
Okay.
So it would be number 3 tragedy. And I think either before that or after that, Henry had died as well. So that would be number 4 tragedy. Do you understand? So the initial life that I experienced, there's a lot of things that went wrong in the family. But one of the things that I didn't realize when I was younger is that I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because my father would have been considered probably one of the wealthiest men in Nigeria. He was a civil engineer, or ran a civil engineering company that was probably one of the ones even till today that can be compared as one of the greatest companies that has run in Nigeria. So there was comfort in terms of financially, but there was lots of tragedies that was happening around the family.
Okay.
And I think I'm one of the younger members of the family, so some of the details will not necessarily be as I won't have as much detail as some of the older members, because they, in this culture, which is one of the things that ESA is trying to break, the idea of not telling people or not sharing information because you can consider it's too young. They don't need to know that, all that kind of stuff. So even for me, there's certain things that I still like to find out. These things that happen because of the fact of that cultural protection of saying, oh, they're too young, they don't need to know that. Till now, in my 50s, I still don't know some of those questions.
Wow.
And that is one of the things that we need to change. I think that's one of the things I love DSA about, the issue of doing research, the issue of actually telling people that, you know what, no matter what you've had in life, it's important to share it. It's important that you pass it on to the younger ones.
Yes.
That there's no matter who you are, no matter how old you are, no matter how well-to-do, how famous you are, it doesn't make any difference for you to not be able to have people ask you the right questions. Or be able to pass information. And I think those are some of the things, those are some of the qualities that I picked up from, that I love about DSA in terms of actually giving you an opportunity to ask questions and also be able to share information.
Yes.
So I'm telling my story strategy. But the biggest strategy for me personally, at that person that was my father who now died in 1978, that's now 40 years ago. So from the age of 13, I had lost both mother and father. Okay? But we had a large family in terms of there was 12 children, 9 boys and 3 girls, so there was always people around. But the primary figurehead in the house was one. One of my father did was in the early 70s, most of us, he sent us to England, to boarding school. You know, went to, there was a time, let's put it this, 7 of us, 7 children, 7 boys went to the same boarding school in England. One of the top boarding schools in England. So he made sure that we were, he tried to provide for us the best way that he could, in making sure that, you know, we were in an environment that was cushioned. And I think part of it was because, number one, he was very busy in Nigeria. Number two is some of it is like some of us have lost, you know, the mother figure in the house. But he wanted us to be in an environment whereby we could be cared for and taken care of. Okay, so that kind of gives you a little insight on the early parts of my life. But then part of what DSA or listening to DSA or recently just reading DSA's books has given me is like he has opened up some of the questions that you have as your younger years, that some of the issues that you have. Understanding him and reading him opens your eyes to be able to see that, you know what, my situation is not that bad. Do you understand? Because if you look at his life story, where he comes from and where he grew up from and, you know, the environment that he grew up in, to now become the person who is now passing on information that you can save so many of us in so many areas that you have issues or problems, that somebody that's willing to give you the lessons or the tools that you need to be able to get out of those things, I think is incredible. You know, so part of what I see is when I come to Ukraine, because Ukraine gives you a live picture of what this human being has done. You know, you have people who will basically come to you and tell you what their life was all about and what being associated with DSA and the DSA organization has done to their life and what he has done. So I am away from Ukraine, but I can also say that the impactation that understanding him, listening to him, has been very impactful in my own life, even at this time.
Awesome. You shared something that is very powerful.
Your microphone is not clear.
Yeah. I said, sorry about that. I said you shared something very powerful. You said DSA always teaches that you should share your story. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, how old you are, how bad your story is. You should share your story because you don't know how your story can help somebody, how it can transform somebody, how it can heal somebody, how it can rescue somebody, how it can deliver somebody. So we all have stories. And I also want to say with this that please go and share the story again, because this information will help somebody today, and it could help somebody to come out of I don't know what situation you could be. So let's not just keep it to ourselves. I don't think it's too hard to share. All you need to do is to just press the share button, and yeah, your friends are also going to join us as well. So yeah, thank you.
I think that is good that you said that, which I think for me, one of the reasons why I wanted to, because I hope my story will touch somebody and help them in their situation.
Right.
I think that is the greatest gift that you can give to the world.
Right.
Because whatever we say here is going to be it's going to be everlasting.
Yeah.
You understand? What bottom line is, life is not that bad. No matter what happens, you can always find, or God will always take you out of those difficult times. Do you understand? Right. There's a reason why part of what has made us who we are today is what has happened in the past.
Right.
What has happened in our country. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's part of the that basically created, is what has created this human being that we all tune in every day to listen to.
Yeah.
You know, part of the hardship that he went through, part of the suffering that he went through, part of the hurts that he went through, part of the thing. And I think we all have that as, and I think the more that we get into the idea of being able to open up, the more we will have people around the world who are also going to say, wow, this guy's story is worse than mine. I'm actually in a good position. I can get them out of that situation, get them to find a place of joy, a position of happiness. And I think that is very, that's one of the biggest impacts that being a DSA member has had on me, and I believe hopefully to whoever it is that's listening around the world.
Right, right. Thank you for that. But when you were still telling us about yourself, you said something about the golden spoon. I don't know if everybody knows what golden spoon is about. So please, can you tell us more what you mean by you were born with a golden spoon, so all our viewers could understand what that means?
Okay, well, let's put it this way. I am number 9 out of 12 children, and my father basically ran probably till today one of the greatest civil engineering firms in Nigeria. He built it from scratch, and a lot of the roads that we may have passed in Nigeria at some point, especially in the western region, you will probably heard the company, if you're old enough, Wole Banjoko and Co. So in those days, it was well respected. It was probably one of the first brands, African, I'll say, indigenous brands in Nigeria. And it wasn't just a matter of building a brand, legacy whereby he accomplished the task that was ahead of him before days. So when I say golden spoon, I didn't realize it at that time. What happens when you think everybody lives the same way that you do? Okay. You don't realize that maybe you're coming from more comfortable environments. And only later on in life, as you now develop and you grow up, then you now start to look like, oh, okay, I think we were probably a lot better off than a lot of people. But you didn't, but even though I say that, we were raised to be spoiled. You understand? Yeah. We were always, and even my brothers and sisters, no matter what environment, we were the kind of people that can sit in a buka and enjoy with the regulars, or go to a motor park and eat in the motor park. But yet, if you want to eat at the most expensive restaurant, we will also be there and be able to adapt.
Wow.
And that has always been part of our nature. I think my dad, that was part of the way he raised us. So it wasn't like if you grew up whereby you thought people were lesser than you. That was never the reason. That was never the training that was given. That was how he was as well. I think some of my siblings probably picked that aspect of him even more than some of us. But that is how we were raised. So when I say golden spoon, basically there was, we were comfortable. We were very comfortable. We went to the best schools. Okay. My father had, even though it's one of the things that when somebody says, "Oh, I remember you because your father had a Rolls Royce in Nigeria." My father had a Rolls Royce in Nigeria in the 70s.
Wow.
I think that kind of gives you an idea, but it wasn't something that. Bottom line is this: he was the one that was probably one of the people that was building the best roads in Nigeria. It was part of the image that he created of the success in Nigeria. Nigeria's road that he built in those days lasted years, as compared to some of the roads that people are doing now that have lasted a couple of years and it falls apart. You understand? He was a man that wanted the greatness of the country. The other thing I have to say is this: he would have been 100 years this year. He wasn't a young man in any sense. You understand? He was born in 1918. So this year would have made him, July, I think, would have made him 100 years. So it's probably beyond a number of people on this platform's time. But in those days, a lot of Nigerian students went to university to study engineering and hope to come out of school to come and work for Wole Banjoko and Co. So that was the image at that time. But besides the fact that who he was, what we need to do is to understand who we are and what he created. Let's talk about the legacy that he left in us as the children. Do you understand? And I think part of his humility is what a number of my family members will carry with us all throughout their life. I know DSA have made many references to families, but I think to know a little bit of the history will be best so you can understand, where one is coming from.
Okay. Wow. Great. Now at least we're more clearer. How it's more clear, very, very clear, for what you mean by golden spoon. It means that you're comfortable, and some will even say you're coming from a rich family. So thank you for.
I would say yes, from a rich family. But I think for me, the richness is beyond the money. The richness is the legacy and the lifestyle,
right,
and principle and the image that he left behind. That for me, I guess that's why one of the books that DSA wrote, Money Won't Make You Rich, is one of the things that, for me, I've read the book. It just kind of gives you an understanding that it is not money. There's more beyond money to wealth.
Right.
you can, some of the richest people in the world are the poorest people on earth, based on the fact they don't have wealth of knowledge, they don't have wealth of happiness, and that kind of stuff. Those are some of the things that, so I'm not going to focus on the issue of the money. I'd rather say the richness in terms of life. Richness in how you treat people. Richness in how to, one of the things that I've learned from DSA, not necessarily that he says it, but it's something that I think I have picked up from him. I make decisions from a position of love. You understand? Any decision I make from love. It may not, you may not be able to take it that I meant out of love, but for me, it is always the consideration, and the number one consideration is from a decision of love before I make that decision. You know, those are some of the things that I think, principles that I've learned from him, because you always care. You know, I always put myself, when I decision I make, I always put myself in the position of the other person that's asking you to do something first. Okay, and if you can do that, then so even if I make a decision, whether you like it or you don't like it, I have switched my role. That's one of the things I do. I've kind of lived that all my life, but I think, you know, when this topic, I think the title of giving clarity. There's certain things that I've lived in my life, but I didn't have clarity on understanding it. I think after listening to DSA consistently, and I know he always does that, if you listen to this, at least 200 of his messages, I think I've probably done that. Listen, consistently, it gives you clarity in areas that you have issues in. It gives you clarity in areas that, you know, that you don't know which way to go. You know, so I think that is what I'll say. So I'll say part of who I am now, DSA, or listening to DSA, or reading about DSA, has given me clarity. I have more confidence. You understand, than I did before. So that is one of the reasons why I can say, okay, let me come on the air and actually spill this out. Before, even though I've always been a confident person, I may not have felt comfortable coming on air and sharing my life story. But listening to DSA, listening to what he preaches, listening to the messages, listening to how he builds people up, you know, has given me confidence to say, you know what, hey, let's go for it. Let's spread it out, because again, somebody else out there will benefit from it.
Right. Awesome. Thank you for that answer. Going forward, you you almost mentioned the next question I would like to ask you about. We want to hear more about you. We want to know, who is Mr. Banjoko? What are you doing? What is your life, your family? That's what we want to hear next from you.
Well, I am, who am I? I think that's a question that comes from anytime you have an interview with DSA, you know, try to ask you exactly who you are. But who I am a God lover. I love God, I love family, and I love people. And I think that is the way I've kind of run my life for a long time. But like I said, the clarity of understanding who you are comes better from being involved with DSA platform or listening to his messages. I have run a number of businesses in my life. I've run from, currently I'm in hospitality, but I've owned a number of businesses. I've worked in the family business. I currently reside in England. I'm a father of 3. I have 2 boys in university. I have a daughter that is will enter university. I don't want to say her age because, you know, women might be sensitive about me saying her age. I have a daughter that will be entering university in a couple of years, and I am married to a beautiful lady, and we have 3 children. So we live in England. So in terms of it, that's who I am. I would like to consider myself a kingdom carrier. I think the teachings of DSA is preparing me more for anything that is to come in life. Part of what I love is I would like to be part of the national transformation for our country. I love my country, Nigeria. I have always have. I left Nigeria in 1975. I came to England then to study. I have tried a number of times to move back. So I'll probably say I've lived back in Nigeria from 75 to now, probably lived about 8 years in total within that time till now. So part of what I love about the DSA platform is the mindset of building people up. A lot of us outside of Nigeria would like to come home, but the environment is disturbing, a little bit confusing. So I would like to be involved with national transformation, whereby the mindset, just as the teachings comes from DSA, I would like to be involved with changes whereby our children can feel comfortable about going home.
Right.
So that I think ultimately is who I am, or who I would like to see myself as being.
Okay. Okay.
I'm a work in progress. I think
Yeah.
work in progress.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Next question is, what are the questions you say you have? Because if I'm not mistaken, you also yourself mentioned it so far, that you had questions, but after listening to DSA, you now have clarity. Can you share with us first, what are those questions that you had? And then afterwards, you can now share the clarity of what you have after listening to DSA.
Okay. I mentioned to you some of the incidents that happened in the family.
Okay.
I will continue a little bit further. After my father died in '78,
Okay.
I lost two brothers in 1980.
Wow.
Okay, my father's firstborn and his secondborn.
Okay.
Then I lost a sister in 2009, I believe. He is out of my mother's side. There was six of us, of which I am the youngest.
Okay.
He was the girl, so I lost her in 2009. And then I lost another brother last year.
Wow.
So out of 12 of us, I've lost 4 siblings besides mother and father.
Wow.
The brother that died last year is 2 years older than me. From my own mother's side of the family, we had lost 3 people already, so he makes the 4th. So out of 6, that means 2 of us from my own side. Okay?
Wow.
So when I had questions, I think based on the environment that we come from in Nigeria, there's always this pressure of saying that, is there something wrong with you? Is there something wrong with your side? Is there something wrong with your family? Is there, but so it is easier. I mean, you can pretend like if you don't have it in the back of your mind, and then when you're inside a country whereby the preaching is about a lot of darkness. It's a lot about somebody has done something has done this. Based on the culture that we come from. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I went through a few years of staying abroad because a number of people have died, and they're saying, don't come home. You understand? Because they're after you people.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So in that way, whoever wants to shield you or protect you will now take you to places that supposedly somebody has seen something, that they're going to do something to make sure nothing happens again. That's the last person that's going to die in this family. So those are the kind of things that you carry with you, But even when you become, in a Nigerian context, when you become, quote unquote, a born again Christian, there's still that insinuation, there's still that little hint that, okay, if the pastor cannot see it, maybe this other person, whether it's Babalawo can see that, okay, they can kill it. So those are the kind of things that you have in the back of your mind. You understand? I think DSA has mentioned a number of stories or whatever it is. I think part of, so when I say you have clarity, I think listening to him, do you understand? I have never been a big believer in any other form of power. I've always believed myself to be a believer in Christ. But you will always have people that are close to you that will say, no, there's this man somewhere that you need to go and see. And that one, he will make sure that nothing happens. You understand? There will always be people, especially if you were young. And I think when we were younger, there was a tendency when you've lost mother, father, especially 2 brothers at that time, it's like there was this issue of trying to shield you, trying to protect you, trying to save you, trying to protect you. It was the means of protection. It was something that was being done out of being consideration for you, but realistically, it's the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You understand? Because the fact that what we all hold on to the fact now is that if you believe in God or you believe in Jesus Christ, all those things are past. You understand?
Yeah.
All those things are not something to worry about. Death is going to come. Whether it comes, whether you're 1 year old, whether you're 2, whether you're 10, 50, 100, it doesn't matter. It's going to come. And I think part of the preaching that in Nigeria, especially with all these die by fire prayers that we've got used to, the issue of us all having this issue of fear in the back of our mind was something that has been put inside us. That is a seed that has been dropped inside our mindset.
Right.
What you learn from DSA, when I say you get clarity, is the fact that all this thing is wrong.
Yeah.
All this thing, as far as the fact that you have given your life and you believe in the creator of all things, nothing else is important. Nothing else matters. Do you understand? So I think that is when I say clarity, that is part of the clarity that I get from the DSS teaching. Because you can listen to his tapes, you can listen to one message, 2 messages, you never hear anybody saying, to die by fire, all my enemies. Do you understand? This whole doctrine that we have been raised on, which I am a strong believer also, that is part of what has ruined our country. I still remember, I'm still old enough to remember the fact that when you carried a Nigerian passport and you went anywhere in the world and you put your passport down and they look at you and say you're Nigerian and you walk through. I still remember that time. I'm still old enough to remember that time, but this thing that we have dug, we have continually dug a grave for ourselves that is sinking deeper and deeper. So that's why I believe so much in this transformation. We need to create an environment whereby our children can get that pride of coming from this part of the world. We need to get it back. Do you understand? And I think so. That's what I said when I said clarity. I think I have clarity based on the facts of my life experience, based on what has happened in the past. I'll be honest with you, if I was to die tomorrow, nothing happened to me. Nobody has done anything. Yeah. It just means that the same man or the same God who created me to come to earth at that appointed time had decided to call me to come home at that appointed time. Right. So, listening to DSA, I mean, I've always had the issue of, I've never been afraid. I've got the issue of fear. And I know he talks about having no fear. I have no fear anymore. I can sleep next to a dead corpse. It doesn't make any difference. I have no fear. I think that is, I had it before, I understood it before, but when you have somebody who teaches you things or principles that you need to understand, it just adds to that confidence and now makes you super confident.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I think for me, part of the teaching that I take away from the DSA message is that super confidence that, you know what, anything that happens, it is not because somebody did it to you. And I think that is the doctrine that all these pastors seem to keep slamming onto our people, that there's always somebody that has done something, that is doing something, that has done something, and that message needs to change. So, and I support that message that he preaches, that, all this, any member of your family that is saying that, die, all that is all rubbish. And I think people don't know, everybody, just open your eyes, shine your eyes, as we say it. Shine your eyes. It's all a gimmick to create fear in you, to be able to swindle you. So I love the fact that for the past couple of years, DSA has always had those principles. If you listen to his messages 10 years ago, 15 years ago, nothing really has changed about it.
Right.
He has been consistent.
Yes.
You understand? He's been consistent in terms of people development, in growing people's mind, in growing, in opening our eye. I consider him a doctor, a brain surgeon. I think that's the way I look at him, because basically, by the time you listen to him over and over, he fine-tunes your brain, and then you now look at the fact that, how could I have believed in something like that? How could somebody have swindled me like that? And I think that's the beauty of his teaching, of his messages. It empowers you. It gives you a little drive to say, all things are possible. I can accomplish everything. And then the man, after he does this, and you say, thank you, and the humility is like if he looks at you like if, what have I done? Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's why I said the simplicity of him. So you look at him and say, a lot of our quote-unquote Nigerians or men of God, whatever it is, we say that is another ego booster for them. But this man will look at you like, what? So, come on. Let's go on. Let's go on. Next. You understand?
Right.
So I think those are part of the qualities that I think, even for me, that I take away, with anything that I do in life.
Right. Wow. Thank you very much for sharing that. And I can totally relate to what you just said. First of all, I want to thank DSA, and I want to say I'm privileged to know him, to really, learn and be delivered. Because from what you're sharing, I believe your deliverance has come. And I believe other people have been delivered. From these teachings that, that we have for the past, should I say, 10 years, is just getting worse and worse. So I am grateful personally. I don't know about anybody out there, but I know that all his followers are grateful.
I think one of the easiest way to look at it is this: a number of us that, at least now that DSA has been on the platform for a couple of years, you look at some of the people that have come through the house. Do you understand?
Right.
The beauty of the world that we live in now is there's evidence.
Yes.
There's evidence besides written word. There's evidence of video whereby you can actually look at somebody where they started from and where they are. And I think part of the beauty, like when I was doing, I was looking at some of the videos of preparing for this. You look at some of the ladies that have come through the house, some of the men that have come through the house, that have come to get, whether you come for HMT or they come to be mentored by DSA. You can see who that person was in the beginning, and you can now see who that person is when they left.
Yeah.
One of the things that I would say that for me, when I was just looking at some of the tape, I remember Dr. Insufficient. I remember I can see her when she came for HMT, and I can see the person on some of the last interviews that she did with him, and when she left. That just shows what he does with the human mind. What he spending time with him, reading about him, understanding the principle of what he does with the human mind. You understand?
Yeah.
I think that most of us all around, the only reason why we all keep switching on is because we're looking at this man and say, how is he able to do this? Or, it gives you clarity. That's what I'm saying. I keep coming back to that word, clarity. It gives you clarity in all areas of your life. Do you understand?
Right.
And he gives, to us it looks effortless. But obviously, it's the training that he has put his mind into.
Right.
It's the coaching that he has trained himself to do. Because part of what I'm taking from being associated with DSA is this. I'll be honest with you. I also like to spend a lot of time alone. I have no problem locking myself up in a house for days. I've always had that. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have to see. It's not because I am upset. It's not because I'm mad or something. But I don't have a problem with it. I know DSA teaches of having time alone. Okay, but what he has mastered is the fact that even those time alone, he uses it to broaden his mind, and he tells you he's been doing that for years. That is part of the result. So anybody that has children out there that likes to spend time alone, that necessarily withdraw himself or whatever it is, as long as there's no mental issue involved, what we need to do is to encourage them to use that time as a way to tweak their minds, to improve their minds. They have interest in, to use that time alone to study further in that area, to build themselves up, to develop themselves. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And I think one of the qualities that you pick, so when you ask questions that what do you get from DSA, those are some of the things that I think even for me, I'm taking away. That you take away that this man that spends time with himself, not disturbed by anybody, but he's using that time to grow his mind. That is part of the result that has created that. He tells you he used to do that when he was smaller, when he was younger. He would withdraw from when friends are playing, he'd disappear for a while. But what he was doing, he was that's why I say you're regaining your lost years. Those are some of the things that you do to regain your lost years. You spend time by yourself, trying to build certain things, knowledge in areas that you have interest in. So again, that's another area that I would say that listening to him or understanding has given me, has helped me, or is helping me as well.
Right. Thank you for that. I also want to add to one of the points you made. You said that DSA it's not saying anything new. What he has been teaching for the past 10 plus years is the same thing that he's teaching today. I can
Yes.
very much relate to that because it happened that I edited a few of his videos. Actually,
Okay.
particularly the interview of Yomi Balungu, I edited that video. And
Okay.
I was shocked actually to find out that what DSA is saying and people accusing him that, oh, why are you calling out the geos names? Is it that, this, that? Unfortunately, he has been speaking about this same thing, not today, 10 years or even more ago. You can go to his YouTube, Sunday Adalaja Official, and find these videos.
Yes.
I was just wow. I was like, this is what I call real. This is what I call truth. This is what I call original. He is not just coming out because, oh, I want to make name for myself, or maybe I'm bored, or I need a new project. No, this man has been saying the same thing more than 10 years ago. Who does that? Most of the people, most of the leaders that we have today is when they teach something and they see the people have related or have learned or whatever, they move to another thing. But he has been consistent. That is, if there is anything I have, I haven't, or shall I say, I will take away from him, is consistent. He is consistent in his teachings, in his method, in his principles, in everything he does. He doesn't just do one thing and say, oh, okay, I've done this, I've had the result, no. He will keep doing it, and this is the real definition of love. This is the real definition of love. Yes, please.
I think that is, I mean, that's the beauty of videos. That's the difference, because you cannot hide between the video. You cannot say what you need. You understand? I think anybody that wants to do video can understand. 2 years ago, me, I remember watching the time that he was in North America. I think Christian Church of God, whether he was talking to the pastors, and he was saying some of the problems that Redeem could have, they're experiencing, and all that kind of stuff. So really, there's nothing new about what he's saying. He hasn't changed. You understand?
Yeah.
What happens is like, because if a man can go to your organization, your senior pastor, and they all sit there and lecturing you and telling you that the problem here needs to be addressed. You understand?
Right.
Means the person hasn't changed. What people are not claiming now is the fact that he is mentioning it, but nobody's going to believe if you don't mention name.
Right.
I think this last 2 years that he's been doing this live show, you can see, besides seeing the improvements in terms of the videos that are coming out, you can see that the same message is saying. The reason why we're all listening is because the message is the truth.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
The only problem, the reason why we will not listen if it's from a lie. But when somebody consistently tells you the truth, you're interested in learning the truth, and that truth is what is saving a lot of us in whatever issue or situation that we have. You understand?
Right.
Yeah. It looks very nice.
Thank you.
So it's the truth. So like I said, someone is saying the truth. You don't have I don't have any somebody speaking the truth. Each person is lying. The thing is, you can always catch them when they're lying.
Right.
It's documents. You can always show that anybody that's saying what they say is not saying is the truth. Why don't they show evidence, just as he showed evidence of the wrong doctrine? Show evidence that is lying.
Right.
He's probably even more documented than most of these geos that we have in the group. He has been in an environment where video usage is probably been more popular than it was before the invention of the mobile phone that we're all using now. Because that's what you see. Even if you go back and look at, I watched I remember some months ago actually watching the video of his wedding.
Okay.
So if Perez is in his 20s now, so he's about 22, 23 years old, I don't know.
Yeah, 23 thereabout years ago, yes.
24 years, yeah. So that's video evidence of this man then. You understand?
Right.
So, that's why, no matter what you say, man, you can go back. If it's topic, go back. Go and bring that document. Go bring the evidence out.
Right.
So how can a man exist and you're saying what he's teaching is wrong, and he's been video, he has been documented for years, and yet you cannot bring something out that says, oh, look at this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So, this point that I just brought up is part of the teaching that you learn from Pastor Sunday. He says, question all things. That's why statement by statement, whenever he shows some of his videos, he will say, stop. And now, you will stop the video, he will explain to it,
Yes.
and then he will explain. So part of what he has done, even with my mindset, is anything that you're doing, anything that you question it, review it, dissect it. Do you understand?
Right.
So besides being a great preacher, besides being a great tutor, he is almost that teacher that every student loves. That will explain to you so much, simplify it so much. If you want to understand at a high level, he'll give it to you at that level.
Right.
If you want your ABC, he will explain to that level, but you will gain knowledge.
Right. Right.
Right. I
Right.
think if you can clone DSA, 1,000 DSA, which is what he is doing as well, by teaching us to go out. The more you can clone him and have people have that level of passion, commitment, excellence, timing, apologetic. If the more you can clone that and then put them out into the world, the more that we'll start to see changes in our lives.
Right.
So that's the thing is within those of us that are watching him, just imagine individuals like that in pockets around the world, how things can change.
Right.
That is why I believe that we can change Nigeria, because if a man that has just started, not just started, but is putting these principles in the airwaves, change can become. The shaking has already begun.
Right.
Just imagine when you have 1,000 people, 2,000 people, 5,000 people, 10,000 people, 1 million people that are thinking like that, our society will start to change.
Right.
Because the issue, and it all comes down to the issue of love. Do you love your neighbor as yourself? Because if you do that, it will reduce the issue of corruption. Because you're not saying that if I eat this money, I am killing. Bottom line is corruption is basically murder. It's access, something that has been allocated to help save lives. You have had to put it in your family. You think your life or your family is going to be where you have murdered thousands or hundreds of thousands of people based on that list alone. So when we have people like that can understand that principle, that are in positions to stand firm and say that this thing is going to save lives. You understand? Like even for me, I say, okay, I have lost some brothers and some sisters. Some of the reason why they probably passed on is based on the fact that the hospital did not have the equipment to be able to help them get through from where they are. Yeah, that's why some of us in Nigeria, we're dying death in the West. They've stopped 100 years ago. It doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
But if we continue like this, we're killing generations and generations. If you don't do the roads, you're killing family. Don't do the properly, you're killing millions of people. Because our become death trap. We walk into the hospital. When I hear something from Nigeria, my mind is more towards the idea that they will not come back alive than that they're going to come out and find a solution. But where you are now, if somebody goes to the hospital, the solution will be found. They will not die, but at least there might be processes, whatever that's going to happen. Those are the kind of things that we need to change, or else, like Nigeria, we've dug ourselves so deep that there has to be a shaking.
Right.
And I think I thank God that DSA is part of the blood that is shaking the nation for the betterment of all of us in general.
Right. Thank you. Moving forward, can you please tell us the changes that have happened in your life since you started listening to DSA?
Okay, one of the things that I think I discussed it with DSA as well before. I worked in like right now. I work in a sports club in London.
Okay.
I'm one of the managers in the sports club. I think one of the things that everybody around the world, wherever you work in, we can always find ways to help out. One of the things that I have chosen to do is because I work in a sports club that has tennis, has squash, has gym. What I do is some of the product that has been disposed of. So if somebody has shoe, you have a tennis shoe, or a squash racket, or squash balls, you want to dispose of, or you've done new ones. I have started collecting them, okay, from them rather than dispose of it, and using it to help, especially a particular club. I think one is in Ibadan, recreation club in Ibadan, whereby I take it there and I give it away. I have to pay for excess luggage, I pay for shipment, I take it there and I give it to children that have an interest in that sport, but don't have the means or ability to be able to buy the materials that is needed to keep them active in that sport. The reason why I do that is number one is because I work in the sports company. Number two is because I enjoy sports and activity. So I think for all of us out there, whatever it is that you enjoy doing, we can all do something like that, in whatever area it is. Use that facility that you have, that asset you have, to be able to support people, you know, like government in Nigeria, I carried almost 1,000 tennis balls. You understand? 20 or 30 squash rackets. You know? And then you give it to other people out there that helps them find pleasure in doing what they do. I have started parts of what I was going to do is when I go home this time, those ones that are commitments to the game, and I also do it in school, I have started by going to find means or provide educational support.
Right.
You know, when you say the principles, you know, so the first thing I want, you know, is not just to be forced. If you find a child that doesn't have need, or the parents don't have the need to help them through school, I want to be a bridge that has a talent in it, but I also support him in the first years of what through school as much as I can. This one, I also have a willing to do that with as a means of doing that. So I think when we find something, I'm doing this in the area that I have interest. And I think we all, as all around wherever parts of the world that we are, we can all do something similar as long as the area of more passion. You understand?
Okay.
That's part of what I said that I would like and do it, I like to pursue it. Similar to what Dr. People and Dr. Anu are doing, whereby, you know, they're doing what 30 before 30, so I probably more sure. But I want to do something along that line as well. But I want mine to do something along someone who has an interest in sport and also has an interest in education.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow. Congratulations on that.
You know, well, the process has started. It's just now to continue it and grow it and make sure that you know, those people can benefit who don't have this. Of course, my country, of course, Nigeria, and that's where I'm from. My area, an area where I'm available, due to maybe say, call yourself in this area that you want. I want to consider where I can monitor, because I think that is also very important, especially during Nigeria. The ability to be able to monitor the progress of what we're doing and before and doing the way we envisioned it.
Awesome.
You know. So that's part of what I am doing.
Awesome.
That's part of what I am doing. But again, like I said, I mean, the people around, it is something that everybody can do. We can all contribute. We can all find something, you know, an area that we can support. You
Right.
know, because obviously Nigeria is going through a tough time. We have been going through for a long time. But anything that you can do to break somebody out of poverty is something that you can never get the feeling that you get out of it. Money can't even match it.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Congratulations on that project. It sounds awesome and it sounds exciting. I believe it's a great investment, and there is not any other better place to invest than in children, because yeah. So
I mean, definitely. I mean, for me, I mean, the first thing that I did was I recorded the experience. To be able to give somebody something that they can't have,
right,
in
right,
something that they enjoy doing. You cannot imagine what it's doing.
right.
And then you was able to provide them with the tools that they need to develop them. When I did it, the coaches, I called the coaches that are looking up, and I said, okay, I'm not giving you, but I'm giving you here. Because it's very easy for people now to become dependent on the fact that money is going to come. But it was a deliberate thing. I wanted to give them the needed first. And then based on when we identify those people that have shown commitment to what it is that they actually like this, then you can support them in the fact that, okay, maybe I provide a small amount of meals a month. You know, maybe I'll find another way to provide them to help their parents not have the means, maybe to send them to school. So you want to take the pressure away from the family, whereby this person can pursue their sporting ability and also educational ability. Because I don't want to create a human being that is a great sports person but doesn't have a mind to be able to understand it. I would rather have people that understand sports and also that their mind has been tweaked the right way to be able to, because that's the only way they can take them, that's the only way you can guide them out of poverty, as compared to just saying, okay,
right,
there's an athlete, if anything happens that he breaks his leg, or something happens in the sport, he cannot do it again, then you've now created something, you've now left them even more damaged than you before you found them. So I think for me, get that right, get the education right that they will need
right.
for the rest.
Awesome, awesome. So this project of yours, if people want to join, can they join? Is everybody free to join, to contribute? Is it possible?